Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Friends, it is the time for Dhamma talk. Since you all are practicing Vipassana, tonight Dhamma talk is also on Vipassana. This is actually a riddle given by God, by a God, not by the God. This is again from the original discourses from Majjhima Nikaya, the middle length sayings, Sutta number 23. Vammika Sutta. Vammika. V-A-M-M-I-K-A. Vammika means ant hill. Ant hill. Once the Buddha was living in Savatthi, Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's Park. Then Venerable Kumara Kassapa was practicing in the woods named Andhavana, means blind men's woods, blind men's forest. While he was practicing, at night, in midnight, one certain deity came to him, illuminating all over. He came to him, to this venerable, approaching him, said, he stood aside and said, Bhikkhu, Bhikkhu. That is how he addressed the monk. Bhikkhu, Bhikkhu. There is an ant hill which is fumes by night, flames by day. A certain Brahmin called a wise person and asked him to delve this ant hill. Do you know what ant hill is? It's huge. Ant hills in Asia, we find huge ant hills like 10 feet. Sometimes the elephant, they just sleep against the ant hill. They keep their heads to the ant hill and against the ant hill. Then they sleep on like that. That much high. That's about 10 feet high ant hill, in which you find many halls and tunnels inside, all over, tunnels. So that is the riddle. He says, now there is an ant hill which is flame in daytime. Night time it's fume, smoke night time. A certain Brahmin called a wise person to delve this with a shovel. And then the person start to delve it, dig it. When this wise person was digging it, first he saw a bar, a barrier. There's a bar. He saw the bar. And then he said, Sir, here there is a bar. Then the Brahmin said, okay, take it and throw it away. Then he asked to delve it again. Now while he was doing, he found a toad. Toad is the frog, swollen frog, in the anthill. So he asked, he said, so here there is a toad. Okay, throw it away and dig it further. Then he found a two-way, a fork-like. Then he said, there is a fork here. Okay, throw it away and dig it further. Then while he was digging, he found a strainer in that anthill, strainer inside. So he said, here is a strainer. Okay, throw it away, dig it, delve it. Then he found a turtle inside. Then he said, sir, here is a turtle. Throw it away, dig it. Then further he is digging. He then found a butcher's knife and a block, a log. He said, here is the butcher's knife and a block. So, okay, throw it away and dig further down. Then he found a piece of meat. He said, oh, here is a piece of meat. Okay, throw it away and dig further. Finally, he saw a cobra, the snake, the serpent, cobra. Then he said, here is a cobra, sir. Then said, don't do anything, don't harm. Don't harm the cobra. Respect cobra. And this is the riddle. So the deity said this. He gave this riddle to this venerable while he was meditating. It was midnight. It's a riddle. So the deity said, you better go and ask Buddha this riddle. What is this riddle? What is the meaning of it? So the following morning, he went to see the Buddha. When he went to see the Buddha, he told all this story, what happened, how the deity came and how he gave this riddle. Then he further asked Bhante, what is this riddle, Bhante? What is this anthill? He asked, this venerable asked, what is this anthill? What is flaming? What is fuming? And who is that Brahmin? Who is that wise man? What is shovel? What is digging, delving? And Bhante, what is that bar? What is taught? There is this frog. And what do you call this fork? What is fork, Bhante? What is strainer? What is turtle? And what is the butcher's knife and block? And what is the piece of meat? What is this serpent, the cobra? He asked. Then the Buddha said, Buddha solved the riddle, solving the riddle, said, this anthill is this. This is the anthill. Just like anthill. When we sit like anthill. In the anthill, you see there are holes. This anthill also there are holes. Nose, eyes, ears, nose, mouth. These are different holes. Just like the anthill. So Buddha said, this is the anthill. This body, this form, this person, so-called person is the anthill. Then what is Bhante? flaming and fuming. The deity said, flaming by day and fuming by night. What is flaming by day? We are working, we are doing many different things daytime, just like flaming, just like blazing, work, doing many different things daytime. And when it is night, which fuming means, it's smoking means, we are thinking. We start to think. When we go to bed, we don't sleep. Most people don't sleep. They think. Thinking is fuming. So that is how the Buddha said. So this is the nature of this anthill. So the deity said, there's a Brahmin. He called a wise person and asked him to delve this. Then who is this Brahmin, Bhante? Brahmin is the Buddha. Buddha said, Brahmin is the Buddha. He is the noble one. Brahmin means noble one. He is the Buddha. And the wise person, who is wise person? Wise person is you. We, all meditators, all those who are practicing Vipassana, they are the wise persons. So you are the wise person. You have to delve, you have to dig your own anthill. This is the anthill. You are the person to delve this, dig this. When we delve this, when we dig this, we have many barriers, not only one, many different things. These are to be understood when practice Vipassana. So then he asked, what is the shovel that you used to dig this? Buddha said, shovel is your wisdom. Without wisdom, without insight, you cannot do this. It is the tool. Tool is wisdom. Wisdom, we should develop our wisdom. It is through wisdom we can do this. We can dig this anthill. Without wisdom we cannot do. So what is digging? Digging is meditation. Digging is effort, taking effort. Practicing again and again, practicing again and again. That is what is called digging, delving. So when we practice as practitioners, we dig this anthill. When we dig, we find different items. The first item that we find is the bar. It's a barrier. There's a barrier. That barrier is to be understood. The first thing, the barrier is the ignorance. There's a bar. The deity said, there's a barrier. What is this barrier? It is the ignorance, avijja. As long as we have avijja, ignorance, we cannot understand this. As long as we have avijja, we cannot understand Vipassana. Avijja, once the Buddha said, avijja is the cause for all suffering, all dukkha. Avijja is the cause. In the numerical discourses, once the Buddha said, it is impossible to say that particular time. The avijja started only from that particular time. Even before that, no avijja. Like that, nobody can say like that. Because it is impossible to discern the starting point of avijja, beginning of this avijja, ignorance. Avijja means not knowing the Four Noble Truths. Whenever we have right understanding, we come to understand the Four Noble Truths. So, avijja is ignorance, its opposite is right understanding. Right understanding, if we have right understanding, then we are on the path. That is the first step of the path, Noble Eightfold Path. The first factor is right understanding. So the first thing in this anthill, the first barrier that we have is our own ignorance. Because of our own ignorance, we think that impermanence, things whatever impermanent, we think permanently. We grasp them permanently. Whatever unsatisfactory, we take satisfactory. Whatever non-self, we grasp as self. Because of avijja, because of ignorance. So that is to be the Brahmin asked the wise person to throw it away. Throw it away means let it go. Understand and let it go. Throw it away means let it go. Okay, the second thing that he found in the anthill. The second thing was the toad, that is a frog. It's blue, swollen. What is that? Anger. Anger. Hatred. That is another problem. Hate. Resentment. Hate. Anger. Whatever the word we use. That's angry. Anger is the second problem. Anger is to be appeased. Anger can be appeased only through metta, love and friendliness. So understand it and remove it, throw it away, he said. The Brahmin said, throw it away and dig further. Now, the Buddha said, it is the anger. Now, as the Brahmin said, further, dig it further, then he found a fork, two-way. What is this two-way? Going this way, that way. What is this? Vichikicca is doubt. Which one? Vichikicca. Vichikicca is both ways. You are not certain. Uncertainty. Doubt. You doubt whether this is right or wrong. Now this technique is, what is this technique? I have never heard of this. Oh, is it right? But I have heard that one, and I have practiced that one. Which one is correct? Like that. Or whether the Buddha has taught this. Like that. You have different doubts. So doubt should be cut off, should be thrown away. Throw away, he said, throw away. Doubt. That is the next thing. And then he said, he found, the wise man found another one which is a strainer. Strainer, what is this strainer? Strainer is 5 hindrances. 5 hindrances. That is another barrier. All these are sort of barriers, all these are to be removed. Without removing this, nobody can understand Vipassana. So, 5 hindrances are to be removed. Hindrances, as you all know these 5 hindrances, sensual desire, sense desire, ill will, laziness and sleepiness, restlessness, and doubt. These are the five. Buddha has said that these are like rust grows in gold. In gold, when there are different rust gross thing, gold is not malleable, pliable, workable. The Buddha pointed out, like iron, copper, tin, lead, silver. These are the five types of rust impurities in gold. As long as these are there in gold, the gold is not workable, malleable. Like that in the mind. As long as we have these five hindrances, we cannot do something through this mind. Therefore, five hindrances are to be cut off, to be removed. And on another occasion, the Buddha compared five hindrances to 5 bowls of water. 5 different bowls of water. Suppose there are 5 different bowls of water. The purpose is to see the reflection. In old days, when people had no mirrors, they used the bowl of water to see their face. So, suppose there are 5 different bowls of water. The first one, when you go to see reflection, see your face, it is full of colors, color in water. As it is color in water, you can see your face in that bowl. Just like that. When the mind is colored with lust, you can't see. When you have lust, you are blind. You can't see. Just like that. So the first bowl of water is color in water. Sensual desire. The second one, when you go to the second one is boiling water. It's boiling. So again, as it is boiling, bubbling, you can't see your face. It's like anger, hatred. Then the third one. When you go to the third one, it is full of moss. Again, you can't see it. You can't see your face. Then you go to the next one, the fourth one. It is with ripples. It's agitating. Restless. There is restlessness. Ripples there. Again, you can't see your face. Finally, you go to the fifth one, which is muddy, murky. Again, you can't see. You can't see your face. All these 5, you can't see your face. Because not clear water. Water must be clear. The mind must be clear. That's the meaning. So, these hindrances are to be understood clearly. And these are to be subdued, are to be calm. Then only we can develop our mind. So, the Brahmin asked the wise person to throw this, means let them go, remove them, and then dig further. When he dig it further, then he found another thing. That was turtle. What is this turtle? Turtle, the 5 aggregates affected by clinging. 5 aggregates affected by clinging. That is how we have to understand these 5 aggregates. What we as worldlings, what we have here are not 5 aggregates, but 5 aggregates of clinging. It is affected by clinging. The Buddhas, they have 5 aggregates, simply 5 aggregates. They never cling to these 5 aggregates. That is the difference between worldlings and the enlightened ones. Enlightened ones, they never cling to 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are to be understood clearly. That is why we apply the 6 factors to understand these 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are impermanent. Buddha has given different similes to these 5 aggregates. Some of you know, at least some of you know these similes. The similes, the form, Buddha said the form is like a form, F-O-A-M form, which I said to you this morning, this morning. This form is like a form. Then feeling, Buddha said feelings is like a bubble. Feeling is like a bubble. It comes up, breaks. It's not permanent. It's not permanent. It's impermanent. Feeling is like a bubble. Then perception is like a mirage. Buddha said like a mirage. Marichikupama sanya. Then volitional formations are like, the Buddha said, it's like a banana, the trunk of a banana tree. It's like an onion. No core, that's the meaning. No substance inside. For your easy understanding, it's the onion, like onion. You take layers, nothing permanent, no core there. Then consciousness is like a magician. So that is how the Buddha explained these 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates are the cause of suffering. The birth means birth of 5 aggregates. Birth means birth of 6 senses. Birth of dukkha. Birth of 5 aggregates means birth of dukkha, in other words. That is how we have to understand 5 aggregates. So 5 aggregates are to be understood and let them go. The Brahmin said, throw this away. Now, when you further practice, when you further dig in the ant hill, you see a butcher's knife and a block of wood. That is how where you put the meat and cut it. That is the purpose. So what is this? Block and knife. That is 5 chord of sensual pleasures. 5 chord of sensual pleasures. What are the 5 chord of sensual pleasures? Form. When we see form, we cling to this thing, whatever form. Then sounds, smells, taste and tangible. These are called 5 chord of sensual pleasures. Kama. Buddha has said, Nate kama yani chitrani loke. Nate kama yani chitrani loke. Kama means not these beautiful things in the world. You know, in the world there are many beautiful things. But all these beautiful things are not kama. Kama is not over there. Pleasure, what you call pleasure, sensual pleasure is not over there. It is here within. Sankappa rago purisassa kama. What is called sensual pleasures is the concept of pleasure. Concept of pleasure. Sankappa rago. Raga is the pleasure that you have concept. It is within, that's the meaning. Not outside, but within, inside. Kama is not outside over there, but within. That's the meaning. You know, this world itself is called Kama world, where we live. To this world, there are 11 different realms in the Kama world, this sensual sphere. All these 11 realms, they all enjoy, they all want to be, all beings want to enjoy Kama. 6 heavens, 4 hells, and human realms. These are called 11 worlds, consist of Kama world, sensual sphere. So all beings in this world, they try to gratify their senses, try to enjoy life, to please 5 senses. That is the nature. Kama world. Therefore, even in the first discourse of the Buddha said, there are 2 extremes. Sensual indulgence is one, self-mortification is the other. So sensual indulgence is one extreme, which the Buddha said, which is not to be followed by the wise persons. And also self-mortification in the other extreme. These both extremes are to be avoided. Kama is dangerous thing. Buddha said, appasada kama. Appasada, in kama, in sensual pleasures, there is only little satisfaction. Little satisfaction. Appasada, little satisfaction. Bahu dukkha, much dukkha. Little satisfaction, but much dukkha. Bahupayasa, much despair. Adinavo etta bhiyo, it is danger, is profound. Adinavo etta bhiyo. In the snake simile, you know the snake simile, you heard of the Sutta snake simile, in which the Buddha compared Kama to different things. He gave 10 different similes for Kama. Buddha said, Kama is like a piece of bone, skeleton-like, or a piece of bone. Suppose a person gives a piece of bone to a dog. It's a bone. It's not a flesh. No flesh there. Smeared with blood. What the dog does? He starts to chew it, eat it, try to eat it. When he bites it, what happens? He bites his own tongue. Then it's bleeding. Then he feels satisfaction. So he feels happy. But in the piece of bone, there is nothing. Only smearing some blood. No flesh there. Just like that. Buddha said, it is like a piece of bone. Again, Buddha said, Kama is like a piece of meat that was that was taken by a vulture or hawk. Suppose a piece of meat is taken by a vulture, and then all others, vultures, hawks, seeing this, they chase, they want to chase, they want to grasp it. They themselves go there to grasp it. Eventually what happens? If he does not drop it, then sometime he'll be killed. Like that. It's danger. It shows the danger of karma, danger of pleasures. Again, Buddha said, Tinukupama kama. Tina is grass. It's like a grass torch. Suppose a person make a torch with the grass, with grasses, and then he hold it with flame, holding, again going against the wind, then what happens? The flame, it comes to his own body. He might burn his hands, body, because of torch, because of holding this grass torch, like that. Then Buddha said, this karma is like a pit of coal, ember, coal, where a person, suppose a person is taken to the pit of coal, charcoal, and then the person twisted. He is twisting here and there because of fear. It's just like that. Karma is something fearful. It's dangerous, something dangerous, just like the charcoal pit. Again, Buddha said, it is like something like a dream. You enjoy many things, eventually you feel it's just like a dream. Just like the karma is like a dream. What you call sensual pleasures. Karma is something like you borrowed from others. Lend something, like you have to give it back. Karma is, the Buddha said, karma is like a head of a snake. It's dangerous. Karma is like the point of a sword. It's dangerous. So in this manner the Buddha said karma is dangerous. It has little satisfaction. Buddha said that Buddha never completely said no, there is nothing. Buddha said there is little satisfaction. Appasada. Little satisfaction. But bahu dukkha. Much dukkha in karma. That is how the Buddha explained. Now, then Buddha said this piece, explaining what this butcher's knife and the block. The Buddha gave this, Buddha solved the riddle in that way. And then, when he was digging the anthill, he found something more. That was piece of meat. Piece of meat. What is that piece of meat? That is delight and lust. Delight and lust. We delight many things. Since we delight, we attach to things. Since we delight, we increase lust. It is because of delight and lust we are born again and again different places. In the first discourse of the Buddha said, Tatra tatra binandini. We cling to different places because of this. Abhinandati. We enjoy, we cling to things because of delight and lust. Then finally, he saw the serpent, the cobra. What is this cobra? Cobra is the Arahant, the enlightened ones. So all these things, there are 8 different things. He found 8 different things. The Buddha resolved in this riddle, the Buddha said, understand this and remove them. All these things you have to remove. That is how the wise person has to practice, practice Vipassana. The person has to understand, the practitioner has to understand these different things and remove them, and finally come to the realization. That is what is called Arahant, the enlightened ones. Enlightened, Arahant means what? Araha. Araha means when you break the core, you break the hub of the samsaric wheel. That is Araha. The person who breaks the hub of the samsaric wheel is called Araha. You know the hub, if we have broken the hub, there is no place to hook this spokes like that. When we break the hub, it's no samsaric journey any longer. Araha means the worthy one. When one attains enlightenment, he becomes a worthy one, worthy to receive others' veneration, worthy to receive others' gift. He is the worthy person. The worthiest one is the Buddha. He was the first Arahant in the world. Buddha was the first Araha, first enlightened one in the world during this era. Then again, Araha means the one who has destroyed all enemies. Araha. Ari means enemies. Who are the enemies? Defilements. Who has destroyed all enemies of defilement is called Araha. And the person who has never done things, who is never doing anything wrong even in secret, he is the Arahant. Araha, the enlightened ones, they never do anything wrong even in secret. These are different meanings of the term Araha. To become an Arahant, the enlightened one has to cut off 10 fetters. Of the 10 fetters, as I explained the other day, of the 10 fetters, the person who cut off the first 3 is called stream enterer. The person who has cut off the first 3 and weaken the next 2 is called once returner. The person who has cut off all the first 5 fetters, which are called 5 lower fetters, is non-returner. He never returns. And the person who has cut off all 10 is called Araha. Of these 10, the last to go is avijja, ignorance. You see again the problem, ignorance. It is because of ignorance all dukkha arise. It is because of the cessation of ignorance, cessation of dukkha arises. Cessation of dukkha itself is the attainment of enlightenment. So this is the way, this is the path. Path is clear. Buddha has very well designed this technique. This technique is the Samatha Vipassana tandem technique. That is what we all have to understand. To understand this, we have to read the discourses. Some people are reluctant. Some people completely, they don't want to read this. But without reading Dhamma, how can we understand Dhamma? If you want to criticize Dhamma, you have to read this. That is how some people did and some people do. I know some people, non-Buddhist, they wanted to read these discourses to criticize, to completely reject the Dhamma. They read this, eventually what happened? They kept their robe aside, they became Buddhist. I know several persons, even here in New York there is one person, and there are some other persons. They read this just to understand and criticize this or to reject. But eventually they themselves can understand this cause and effect, Dhamma. Once you understand this Dhamma, you can put this into practice, then you can realize it. You are the master, you are the savior. You yourself practice and you yourself understand. This is the Dhamma that the Buddha has taught us. Therefore, friends, let's understand this wonderful teaching. Let's read this again and again. Whenever possible, let's meditate. Whenever possible, let's practice samatha. Whenever possible, let's practice Vipassana, so that one day we can realize this real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. May we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.